Are you someone who walks around angry, who has a chip on their shoulder, who feels like everybody is against you? You feel like you have to have a wall or a shell up and you can't let anybody in? Have you been told that you're really hard to get along with, that you argue, that you're bitter, any of those things? If any of that sounds like you, someone that you love, I want you to lean in today because I want you to hear that it may not be anger at all. It may be something else. And until we deal with the something else, we won't ever address the anger underneath, okay? So lean in today, listen today, learn today, and let's start dealing with what's really going on. And it's not anger, it's something else. Let's go. Hi, I'm Dr. Tiff, your relationship transformation coach. I've spent the past 20 years working with high-achieving women just like you who are crushing it in every area of their lives, everywhere except their relationships. And look, I get it. Finding the one ain't easy, and relationships are hard. But you know what's even harder? Cycling through the bad ones, or worse, staying in relationships when you already know they're not a good fit. You want a relationship of ease, uncomplicated, someone to love you down, but instead you've been suffering through bad dates, sexual incompatibility, and someone who might be good for somebody, but not for you. And if we're really being honest, you know that deep down, the work that really needs to be done starts and ends with you. If you're done wasting time in dead-end relationships and sick of looking for, chasing after, or trying to convince somebody to be the one, and you're ready to become the one, then baby, you're in the right place. So prop your feet and let's clink glasses because I'm giving you the tea and the tips to fix your relationships. Let's go. Hi there, it's me, Dr. Tiff, and I want to welcome you to Fix Your Relationships podcast. It is my joy and my pleasure to host this podcast. It's all about fixing your relationships and not just, I think sometimes people think it's just romantic relationships, but I want you to fix all of your relationships, honey. The ones at work, okay, with your little coworkers, the ones with your little girlfriends, of course, the ones with your romantic partners. That's super important to me, but I do want you to know that this is a podcast that is about fixing your relationship. So a lot of the information that I give you, a lot of it has to do with our romantic relationships, but honey, it applies. It applies across the spectrum. So see how it can apply to your relationship. And I'm going to talk to you today about something that I think that I know it will resonate with you because I'm going to explain it in the way that God wants me to explain it. And you're going to get it. Okay. You're going to pick up what I'm laying down. Before we get started though, I want to make sure that you guys know that there is a Facebook community that is over there waiting on you, FYRcommunity.com. FYR stands for Fix Your Relationships. You see what I did there? FYRcommunity.com will get you right on over to the Facebook group. Go ahead and sign up. We're going to ask a few questions just to make sure you're not a bot. You get signed up and you're in. It's a community that we are building and growing from the ground up. And it's a place for you to ask questions. On the podcast, I ask questions, I talk to you, I give you information, but I don't get to get your immediate feedback. Over at the Facebook group, if we are talking about a particular topic on the podcast, we can talk about it at length over there. You can ask questions and I can answer them. And that's what I want to be able to do for you. So head on over to FYIcommunity.com and I will see you there. Today, I want to talk to you about anger. I want to talk about anger. Anger is a really tough emotion because oftentimes it is a secondary emotion. Okay. It's not a primary emotion. It's not the first thing that we feel. It is a secondary emotion. It's also an emotion that is very accessible. It's easy. If you're a person that goes from 0 to 10 or worse, 0 to 100, if you get angry really, really quickly, this conversation is for you. Because what I want you to understand is that you may not be angry first. Anger is not the first thing that you feel. It's the first thing that you allow yourself to feel. But it is not the first thing that you feel. When someone makes you angry, when they do something that makes you angry, I will give it to you that you feel angry, that you are pissed off. But what I also will say to you is that that is not your first emotion, usually. Anger is a secondary emotion. What we feel first is one of two things: hurt and disappointment. When we don't address the hurt, When we don't address the disappointment, it leads to anger. So what I want to challenge you to do today is if you are walking around with a lot of anger and you're struggling with that anger, with being mad, with being angry, with holding grudges, with feeling resentment and wanting to get back, being vindictive, tit for tatting, I want you to think about your anger, not as anger, but as hurt and disappointment. Anger is a secondary emotion, what we feel first. And many of us breeze past this. We don't allow ourselves to feel hurt or disappointed because it places us in a position of a victim. And many of us don't want to lay there. We don't want to reside there. We don't want to stay there. And so we really move really quickly from hurt, disappointment to anger. Very quickly, within a matter of milliseconds. We never allow ourselves to feel hurt and disappointment. What I want you to do is identify the one thing that you can't let go of, the one thing that has caused you so much anger that you are just gritting your teeth, you're mad about, you can't let it go, you're upset, you're never going to forgive. I want you to think about that thing today, okay? Now that you know the thing that makes you angry, that really has made you mad, I want you to think about this. What was it that hurt you? Who hurt you? What was it about this thing that hurt or disappointed you? I want you to understand what it was, what happened, and in what way did it hurt you? Why did it hurt? And how did it disappoint you? Is it that someone lied? Is it that someone let you down? Is it that they promised to do something and then they didn't do it? They didn't show up for you in the way that they said they would. Did they double cross you? Did you get in trouble for something that someone else did? Did they lie to you? Did they take advantage of you? In what way did they hurt or disappoint you? Then I want you to think about, and this really ain't your business, but I'm gonna have you go there just to get through this. I want you to think about why. I want you to think about why they hurt you. What was their motive for hurting you? And I'm doing this because sometimes people hurt you without an intention. They didn't have an intention to hurt you. That doesn't take away the fact that it hurt you. But did they have an intention to hurt you is the question. Okay. So I want you to think about why they hurt you, if it was intentional or not. And I want you to also think about why it hurt. Why did it hurt? Why did this thing hurt you so much? Why were you so disappointed? Is it because of something that they said, something that they promised, something that you expected that they never agreed to, but you just thought that it should be this way? Sometimes we're hurt by things because we have an expectation that was never articulated out in the ether, out in the open. Some people get very upset and mad and angry about things while others are oblivious. And they never agreed to whatever it is that you thought was a standard protocol. But whatever they did kind of rallied against that. And they feel like, and you're sitting there, you're left feeling as though they've done something to you and they have no idea, because this was a standard that you set in your head, did not articulate. It was a line that you drew that they never saw. It was an invisible line, and they somehow crossed it. And now you're angry, hurt, disappointed, and they have no idea. So I want you to think about that. Why it hurt you so much? Why you were so disappointed? Is it because of something that they said or did? Did they intentionally do it? What was the intention behind it? Why did it hurt? What was it about it that hurt you? And last, how will you protect yourself going forward? This is not an invitation. Me asking that last question is not an invitation for you to say, well, I will never allow this person in my life again, or I will never do X, Y, and Z again. That may or may not be the answer. Sometimes it is, of course. If you're in an abusive relationship and you're like, I will never, the first time something like this happens, I'm out. I'm not going to let it get this far anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. I won't be in this type of, fine. You never have to do that going forward. But if it is a situation like we just talked about where you didn't articulate your concerns and the person's crossed in a line that they weren't aware existed, then perhaps what you do going forward is make sure that you're very clear about what your boundary is. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes, and this is not about self-blame. The conversation we're having today is not about self-blame. It is about self-awareness, understanding that sometimes it's not always that hurt people are hurting people. Sometimes people hurt you unintentionally. They have no idea what your actual wounds are. Sometimes we are hurting not because of what this person did, but because of unresolved issues from someone else, something that someone else did. And when this person did it, it brought all of that stuff right back up. And it's much easier to just get angry at everybody than address the hurt. What I want you to focus on as we move into 2026, and as we just move forward, period, is addressing our underlying issues. Hurt and disappointment is one of them. Two of them, actually. Our feelings of hurt and disappointment, when we don't, they are primary emotions. When we do not address those, they turn into anger and resentment. I would rather you deal with the thing that hurts you, the thing that has disappointed you, than to brush past that and live in a place of anger and resentment. It's an awful place to live. It doesn't feel good. And I'm not saying that hurt and disappointment feel good either, okay? What I am saying is I would rather you own those feelings, own the feelings of hurt and disappointment by understanding what it was that hurt you, why it hurt, if that was an intentional hurt, and how you're going to protect yourself from being hurt like that or disappointed like that going forward so that you can move on from it and not wallow in anger. You deserve better in your relationships. You absolutely do. And I think you do. You know that anger is something that we must let go of. I did an episode on the reasons why we can't let go. Let me see. Episode 34, the real reason you can't let go. I want you to look at that episode if you can. I want you to tune into that episode. If you're struggling with moving on, if you're struggling with letting go, download episode 34 of Fix Your Relationships podcast and pour yourself a little glass of wine and get cozy, okay? Because in that episode, I'm talking to you about understanding your role and the things that are holding you back, keeping you from moving forward. And a lot of it is when we hold on to things that no longer serve us. This, holding on to anger, does not serve you, sis. It does not. And so we have to find ways to let go. So I want you to listen to that episode. That's episode 38. Come back to this episode so that you can pick apart your anger. Understand it is a secondary emotion. It is. What you're really breezing past, what you have felt first was hurt and disappointment. We got to deal with the hurt and disappointment. Instead of living in anger, here's what we're going to do. We are going to identify the hurt or disappointment. What hurt you? Who hurt you? How they hurt you, why it hurt, if it was intentional or not, and how you're going to protect yourself going forward. And the answer is not going to always be, I'm never going to be in a relationship again, or I'm never going to speak to this person again, or I'm never going to, date a person who does X, Y, and Z again. It might be that. But what we really have to do, we got to learn how to set good boundaries, okay? Articulate our needs ahead of time. Only way we can do that is to learn what our needs are, And also, we have to be able to extend grace as well. None of us is perfect. We are all going to make mistakes. We are all, at some point in our lives, going to hurt somebody's feelings. We are going to disappoint someone. And sometimes we can't really change it. It is a normal emotion to feel hurt, pain, and disappointment. Those are normal things. None of us is exempt from that. We're going to be hurt. We're going to be disappointed. But how do we recover? Best thing you can do in your relationship, if this is where you are, if you're super angry right now and feeling hurt, feeling disappointed, the best thing that you can do is identify that hurt, separate it from the anger, and communicate to the person that hurt you what it was about this that hurt you, why it hurt. Get clarity on their intention, because that can help ease some of that anger as well, the clarity on the intention. And then talk with them about how to keep that from happening moving forward, okay? This will help you move past your anger, deal with the hurt and disappointment, and ultimately provide you with a better avenue, a better route to fixing what's broken in your relationships. I hope that this has been helpful today, because I don't want you walking around here angry with a sourpuss, with a bad attitude. I hope that this is helpful. I hope this is giving you some insight into anger and also what you can do to improve your relationships and dealing with your anger, your hurt, your disappointment, and resentment. Okay? Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I am Dr. Tiff, and I'll see you next week. Ciao. Hey, babe, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. My goal with this podcast is to bless you with information that helps you fix those relationships that are most important to you, but not before you do the self-work needed to make sure that those relationships thrive. If this episode was exactly what you needed, then guess what? Somebody else probably needs it too. So do me and them a favor. Please share this episode with your good girlfriend and let her know about the podcast. And while you're at it, hop on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. This really helps to grow the podcast and puts it right in front of other women who are desperate to work on their relationships and themselves. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to join our community of like-minded women all on a journey to become the one. You can sign up for free at becometheone.myflowdesk.com/email. I know that's a lot, so just go on over to the show notes and click that link there. Thanks again for listening to Fix Your Relationships with Dr. Tiff. I'll see you right back here next week.